All right, guys. Good morning. What a volatile day we had yesterday, and I think it's time for another volatile day today, right? And this is truly a scalper's market, right? And you have to be very in and out fast, whether the move is to a downside or the upside. If you look for a continuation, if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't catch it, you better take your profits. Does not if it does not continue going up in that direction, because options are expensive and any move little into the opposite direction will decrease those option prices by a lot. So options are fluctuating a lot in this market. Keep that in mind until volatility is high. Right, so if you buy something at $1 and it goes in your direction, it will be $10, $20, $50 fast. But if it goes down also, they will go to 90, 80, 70 cents so fast. All right, and so just keep in mind on that. For the SPX, the levels are pretty much similar, the same, because we're stuck in this range. $4,800 is still the call wall, so $4,800 is still the top bullish bet, you can say. I don't think we get to 4,800 so fast, right? Because we do have a very hard resistance at 4,700. At 4,700 is very tough resistance. All right, but if we do get through 4,700, the one thing's going to happen, that's as per the gamma reports, we may have a quick move to 4,750 or 4,650 to the downside. All right, that you have to know. If we get through 4,700 on a smaller micro time frame, on a 5-minute time frame, you see a bull flag or something, 4,750 might happen fast. Personally, I might not play at 4,700. If we get 4,750, I might buy some puts, and I probably will, and I'm probably going to sell some bear spreads at the top, because I think we still see more consolidation and potentially more downside on the S&P in the coming days. All right, today Powell is talking. Tomorrow we have CPI. See if that counts for anything, right? And other than that, that's pretty much it. And then obviously we have options expiry next week, right? Third Friday of the month. I kept thinking it was this week for some reason, because of the I just thought it was the third week, but it's the third Friday, so this is still the second Friday of the month apparently, January 17th for our option expiry. So next week is OPEX, and then obviously we have support at 4,600. Right, in this market, if you go on your 5-minute time frame, if you draw your you don't have to draw your patterns, but if you go on a 5-minute time frame and you're able to figure out these patterns, you can make a lot of money scalping. And if you're disciplined, you keep your stop loss tight. But if you catch the directional move, you can make a lot of money quickly on those scalps. Yesterday we did a few scalps on voice chat. We nailed them. I think we only gave up one SPY, but IWM we nailed it twice, and then there was some other place that we nailed on the voice chat. All right. And if I go on the SPY now, on the daily, let's just look at what's happening on the daily time frame. So yesterday, in most across the board, right, this looks like a nice little uptrend pattern where a similar action as December 20th happened yesterday, right? Huge selling in the morning, and then obviously we recovered all day yesterday, and then we had a huge rally to the upside. Most stocks you will see in the market have a long wick to the downside. All right, candle, a lot of recovery. This usually means it might be a bottom for 1 day or 2 days, right? And then it will be very hard for the market to come down the next day. All right, I mean, if you go in the past and you see these candles, usually the market bounces the next day, right? Today, does the same happen today? We're just right at the 50 MA. So if we go above the 50 MA we hold, I think we see much higher. All right, but again, if I zoom out of this chart, nothing looks wrong. It's in a nice little uptrend, right? We failed out of this top one, but here we bounced. It's in a nice little uptrend. So does the market really take a dump in the coming weeks or what? Very likely, given certain scenarios, that we might break out of this trend line and we might test 450, 440 maybe in the coming weeks. And you know what? I think it's required. I think it will be healthy for the markets if we can test 440 in the coming weeks, and potentially this zone right here, which is roughly 420-ish. All right, and that from the highs will give us over 10-15% correction that the market may need, and then we can probably resume to the bull side again after summer. I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe we continue going up from here. I just play levels, but this is something I would personally want, that S&P comes down to 420, 430, and then from this area we base, and then we break out later on in the summer, because in the coming months will be much easier to trade. We will have much more clarity. But if we keep going up here on a monthly basis, right, on a monthly basis, if we just keep going up, it gets a little scary, right? It does get scary playing the chart. All right, on a monthly, it's still in a nice uptrend if you see it. Okay, so it'll be nice to see S&P come down in the coming weeks if it happens. If it doesn't, well, who cares? We keep playing the levels. But for now, this was a very bullish candle yesterday, and if we continue holding above yesterday's high on S&P, there's still a lot of volatility left in the market, so we might see from 465, we might even see 470 today on the call side. However, if 465 hold fails, then obviously we can even flush all the way down. All right, but again, the first 10-15 minutes I'll watch, and then we'll probably strike it. Today's Tuesday, so S&P SPY options or the indices options will be expensive. The expiry is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as always on the weeklies, right? On the indices. So today I will probably avoid playing the indices. I'll look for more individual names. Qs, same thing, right? A long wick is more of a rectangle formation that we're bouncing off of. Our previous resistance is now acting as support, which is 380, 379. If we can continue holding 379, 380 and get above 382, then we might go towards this 50 MA, right? And then from there we'll see. And LB always goes over TNX, 10-year yields, bonds, rates, how they might affect tech. So please pay attention to that. For example, if I was to go on TNX, right, if we ease on this for a day and we give us some gains here, tech will probably rally, right? Tech will probably rally for some days. Maybe it's possible that we might build a bull flag here. If it eases down here for some days, it will give a chance for tech to go up. And then if this breaks out again, then tech will take a dump again in the coming weeks. All right. So just some things that you want to follow in the market to understand it better, right? And then if you guys have any tickers, please drop them off. I'll take out some tickers. Google, what a powerful move yesterday. Absolutely. I think this was the first tech that led, right, that went positive, and it just didn't look back. So when the rallies happen in this market, right, if one is on the right side, those options go up by a lot. This was a 100-point move off the lows from 26.63 to 27.70 plus. All right, a beautiful move. If anybody caught this nice little cup and handle pattern, right, on the intraday, right, if somebody caught this beautiful pattern breakout, and then we just saw a rally all day. In the downtrend, when the rallies happen, they're really great. I mean, they go up by a lot. There's a lot of volatility, and you can make a lot of money on the options if you're on the right side. All right. So Google, great, but this does not mean it's bullish. I know Nancy has her position and stuff, but this is just this could be a one-day thing, or this could be a nice little uptrend bounce that we have, right? And then maybe we continue higher from here towards 3,000. But for now, we play what the market is giving us. But don't forget that this range since September, or I would say maybe here, since July, we are stuck in a range. We are stuck in a range on Google. So don't expect continuation. This can go like this for many, many months. All right, and if we break below the 200 MA or this right here, this level, then we have downwards all the way towards 2,400, 2,500. All right. Facebook, Albie nailed this one yesterday. I think we called it from the bottom, right? Again, a very bullish candle, right? Very in a choppy range, and likely to continue again today. If tech holds, Facebook tech can have a second day again today. But don't fall for anything. I mean, they can easily flush it again. Rug pull can happen anytime in this market. Just keep that in mind. This is why personally I'm going with small sizes. I'm not going with normal sizes. I do not wish to. I'm okay playing small. All right. You can sleep peacefully at night. Facebook, again, a nice little bottoming candle. Can we get above this range, 340, 350? If Facebook, we hold above 350, this is one stock I might even play leaps on again, right? If we can get above 350 and we hold above this range in the coming weeks, this is one stock I might buy leaps on, all right? It's been a while since it's made a move. And then we have C Limited SC. Again, it came down from 380 all the way to 168. Now, just my own common sense, from 368, something that's down almost 50%, there's a good chance it can rally 5-10%. And with yesterday's bottoming candle, this is one stock you want to keep an eye on for a bounce towards 200. I'm not calling no bottom, nothing. I have no idea how low this name can go. Maybe it sees 50, 60, 80. I have no idea. But all I'm saying is, on such a big move down, there's a good possibility that this stock may see a nice little bounce all the way towards this zone, which is roughly above 200, 210, 220, 230. All right, so keep an eye on this name. It might bounce here, and then if it wants to give up, then it'll come back again, right? What I mean to say here on SC here, I'll give you guys an example. Something like this on Baba, when these it would give up gains, right? It would give up gains, and then we'd have this nice little bounce. You guys see this little bounce, right? So the same thing is possible on SC. We might have these bounces, not just on SC alone. Stocks like Zoom, right? I think Yash is playing this one, and he's already up almost a double, I believe, on this name, right? And this is a very powerful pattern. If we do break out of this 200 range, this can go see 230, 240 very fast. All right. So Zoom is another name. T-Doc is another name that's in a similar pattern, right? So keep an eye on these names. Another position we added yesterday was Twitter. My only reason for buying Twitter yesterday, for February 18th call, the stock is down from 76 all the way towards 40 bucks, almost 50% discount from the last 3-4 months, right? And now from $40, I think it gets a likely bounce towards this zone, right? It's just something that you just see on the chart as soon as you look at it, around 43, 45. And then T was talking to me and he told me Jim Cramer also covered Twitter on his thing, and he said how it's going to go back to 70 bucks. Now I don't really listen to much he says, but Jim Cramer sometimes does point out nice little bottom, and it does cause a rally in the stock sometimes, right? But then again, they poked it below 40 and now they're holding it above here, building a little base. So if I get that 50-cent $1 move, I'll take my profits in this market and I'm out. All right. So 42, 43 seems likely, and plus I bought some time on my calls. I bought more than a month, plus earnings in between, right? And it's just at a very bottoming pattern, and I think we can get the $1-2 move to the upside where I'll take out my profits. Amazon, our strangles paid, right? Those that were in strangles with me, right? Our strangles paid. We were basically looking at the directional move because we were just in this very tight range, and because Amazon needed to move, needed to give that 100-point move. Personally, I wanted to move to the upside. I'm an Amazon bull, but you know what? I protected myself by buying puts as well. So I bought both calls and puts, which are known as strangles. We got that move yesterday, and we took off our profits, right? And some of you guys absolutely nailed it from 40 to 60. Some of you guys nailed it from 27 to 50. That's a couple of $1,000s off one contract. And it is very important you protect those gains. When you get those gains, most people, the first mistake they'll make is they'll be like, oh, I made $2,000 off Amazon. You know what? Let me buy 20 contracts of something to scalp, and those 20 contracts then go to zero, right? And that's the reason you lose money in the stock market. So protecting gains, sometimes when you need a big trade, it is very, very important you protect those gains. Calm down, just chill, let the next trade come. No need to catch anything and give them money. You don't have to trade every time. Right, when you make the money, now you sit and relax, right? So that's that. And Shopify, again, a nice little ball. See, you guys are gonna see it's the same candle everywhere and the same scenario everywhere. Today we're likely to get followed upside based on the candle, but can it also be false? Of course it can be, right? We might even get something like this, a gap of some names that are gapped up, and they just might be volatile. But based on this move, we might on Shopify we might get a move towards 1150 and 1200, right? And who knows, this could be a bottoming candle, right? We came all the way from 1762 to 1100. The stock gave up almost 35-40% gains, right? And here it's likely that maybe bounces another 100 points before going lower, right? So it's likely that it does bounce from here, right? So shop, if I was to play shop here, I would probably play calls. If you don't want to play calls, spreads is the best way to play this market when options are expensive, right? Because then spreads, you will still get them at a fair price. Facebook already went over. What else we have here? And another thing on IWM also, a bottoming candle, and it's just stuck in this range, right? So it just keeps bouncing up and down in this range, and if this one breaks the lows of these candles in the coming weeks, we might see a bigger flush in here. Or could this be the bottom for the upside, right? Let's see. And then another name that I wanted to go over was which one was it? Twitter, Facebook. Yes, Baba, Chinese names. Now, Yasha, if you're listening, right, I'll just go over KWeb. KWeb has it's the internet ETF. It has Tencent Holdings. It's got JD, Baidu, Baba. All these companies are in this ETF. If you're overall bullish on Baba, KWeb is the way to go, I think. And personally, I do see this as bottoming, right? I mean, it's flushed enough. It's at the lows where it was many years ago in China, right? And China has obviously grown a lot, right? In the 2017, 50s, near the whenever this ETF came, it's at those lows. Now, with China, what's happening is their credit sector, we're going to see some stability, right? We're seeing more and more stability, and they might even announce more stimulus, right? And then plus the supply chain issues that we have, our supply and power, those are being resolved, right? And if those things ease, that's positive for China, and then we might see a rally towards the upside. And then not to mention, obviously, we do follow big flow, and there's a lot of flow in KWeb, right? And which obviously implies that the big money knows what's going to happen. But again, if you're playing KWeb, the options are extremely cheap right now because of this low IV, not enough big moves. So if you want to play KWeb, I would probably go 2023, buy $40 or $45 calls and just sit on them, right? And of course, you will have to be patient with them because it can move sideways for a month. Maybe it makes new lows and then boom, it goes, right? And then maybe you'll catch this nice little move. So yes, I do like China, right? Based on what you're also saying. And I think we can definitely see a move to the upside on China, right? And apart from that, guys, voice chat, we're live. A lot of plays are being called on voice chat, so please do join us, right? We have a lot of good traders on there, right? LB's on, Goldman Sachs is on, and many of all our traders, right? And just please do go over the gamma report. Gamma report gives us very good hints. It gives us a roadmap for the day. And for Tesla, Goldman Sachs yesterday, I thought, I'm like, man, this guy's buying calls in this market, right, when everything's flushing. But why did he buy calls? He knew, he did his homework, and he posted for us in the SPX futures channel, right? He posted the entire thing. So, and he nailed these calls, right? But when you put the work and you don't care about the market, then you just focus on the one individual name and you nail it. And he was absolutely right on this move. In this market, I would never pick calls on Tesla, right? But he did his work, he knew. So on Tesla, there's a detailed thesis he posts out every morning. So that's something that I highly recommend you read, and something that you can work on, right? And he gives you point to point levels on Tesla, like point to point, all right? And with that, Baba Danisha has been over. Overall, I think China, just buy long, is bottoming near 120, 100, right? And if it continues bottoming here, eventually we're going to see that one big move, leap, whenever that happens, brother, right? So whenever it comes this year. But 2022 looks like the year for Chinese names, maybe in the start or maybe later on in the summer sometime, right? And they're definitely, I think, bottoming here. And with that, guys, I will end it. Just manage, protect your gains. That's all I can say. And we do have Powell today, CPI tomorrow, and then let's see what happens. God bless you guys in the chat.